All right, today we're going to talk about adding and subtracting integers, and remember, integers are whole numbers and their opposites, so like -8, 0, 2, those kind of numbers. So let's look at it from a football example here. On the first down, the quarterback hands the ball to the running back who is tackled for a 5-yard loss. On the second down, the team gains 7 yards. Did the team gain or lose yards on these two plays? All right, those of you that know about football, you start at your line of scrimmage. So this basically is going to be your line of scrimmage is at 0. Okay, so the first down, the quarterback hands the ball to the running back who's tackled for a 5-yard loss. Okay, so that loss is going to be going in this direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now this is where our little football is at -5. Okay, now this is our new area where we're going to start right here. And it says on the second down, the team gains 7 yards. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now this is where our ball is, and that's at a +2. So we took a -5 and we added 7 to it, and we come out with a +2. The question says, did the team gain or lose yards? Well, we came out with a +2, so that would be gaining yards. Okay, -9 plus -3. Okay, so we're going to go down to where -9 is. 1, 2. All right, so we're starting here. We're adding a -3. So again, if you like the football example, think about it. First down, you got tackled for a 9-yard loss, and then you had another 3-yard loss. So 1, 2, 3, and we are now at -12. Okay, 6 plus -13. Again, if you like the football example, we got a 6-yard gain here. All right, so this is where we are right now. And then we had a loss of 13 yards. So from here, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Let's see where we are. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7. And -9 plus 12. Again, we're going to start off with a loss of -9, or loss of 9. Okay, so this is where we're at, -9. And then we're going to add 12 to it, so we had a gain of 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Only 12. All right, and where do we end right here? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's using a number line. We also have a method using our little counter things that are yellow and red. So additive inverse, this is just simply adding the opposite. And when you add two numbers that are opposites, they equal 0. You might remember this from last year as referred to as 0 pairs. So like if you have 6 plus a -6, that equals 0. Or -5 plus 5 equals 0. So yellows are going to be positives, and red are going to be negatives. All right, so our first example, we have 6 plus a -4. So we're going to drag out 6 yellows because they're positive. You can just put little Y's on your paper, that's fine. All right, and then we're going to add a -4 to it. Again, you can just put R's for these. Now, we're looking for 0 pairs. Well, if you have a +1 and a -1, that equals 0. So that's gone. Do you see any other 0 pairs? Well, 1, 2, 3, and they're all gone because they equal 0. So we're left with a +2. All right, I want you to pause the video and try these next ones. If you want to do a number line, that's fine. If you want to draw out the counters, that's fine, but just no calculator. And when you're done with these 3, unpause it and see if you're right. So 5 plus a -11 gives you a -6. -8 plus -6, -14. -7 plus 14 gives you 7. If you had any of those wrong, make sure you ask for help so we can make sure you're going in the right direction, please. All right, so if you have more positive, so if you have more yellow 2 counters at the end, the sum is going to be positive. If you have more negatives, which were the red ones, then your sum is going to be negative. All right, now here are the rules for adding two integers. So the sum, that's just an answer to an addition problem, of two positive integers, this is what we've been, you start in kindergarten adding, is always going to be a positive number. If you add two positives, you're always going to end up with a positive number. All right, and the same thing, if you add two negative numbers, your answer is going to, again, be negative. So that's not bad. If the signs are the same, again, it's going to be a positive or it's a negative. If you have two negatives, the answer is negative. If you have two positives, the answer is going to be positive. Now, this is when it gets a little tricky. I'm going to write all this stuff down, but it's going to make a lot of sense when we actually do an example of it. So to add two numbers with different signs, you're going to find the difference of their absolute value. The sum has the sign of the integer with the greater absolute value. Now I know that makes no sense whatsoever, but when we see an example, it's going to make a lot more sense. So make sure you have all those blanks filled out before you move on. All right, negative 9 plus negative 23. Same sign, telling us our answer automatically is a negative. Okay, if you need to, come over here and line them up vertically and add. 9 plus 3 is 12. Carry the 1, 2 and 1. So you get a negative 32. All right, the next one, 6 plus negative 15, different signs. Well, remember the rule says to add two numbers with different signs, you're going to find the difference of their absolute values. Okay, so absolute value of 6 is 6. Absolute value of negative 15 is 15. So what's the difference between 15 and 6? You get 9. Now, to determine what sign it has, who was the bigger number, 15 or 6? 15 is bigger. The original number here was a negative, so negative 9. That's all that mumbo jumbo. All right, what I need you to do is pause it and try the next three, and when you're done, unpause it and see if you're right. So negative 62 plus negative 30, they have the same sign, so bring over the negative, and then 62 plus 30 gives you 92. 33 plus a negative 48, signs are different. 48 is going to be bigger. We're going to use that sign. And then we're just going to simply subtract 48 and 33, negative 15. Negative 140 plus 60. Again, 140 is bigger than 60. Take the sign. We have a negative. Remember, we're not looking at them as the true negative 140 versus 60. We're looking at the absolute values. And 140 minus 60 is going to give you negative 80. Remember, if you got any of those wrong, make sure you raise your hand and ask for help. Okay, subtraction. The difference in temperatures is given by the expression 4 minus a negative 4 modeled with two color counters. Okay, so remember, here's a positive 4. Okay, it's saying take away negative 4. Well, do we have negative 4 to take away? No. So what we need to do is add 0 pairs, because if you add this 0 pair, it's just saying 4 plus 0. We have not changed the problem at all. Okay, so we're going to need to add, going to need to add 0 pairs here. Again, you can just do y's and r's. So by adding 0 4 times, we're still at 4. But now at least we have that negative 4 we can take away. So if we take away these negative 4, we're left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And they're yellow, so a positive 8. Okay, let's look at another one of these. 3 minus 6. It's saying take 3, so 3 positives, and we're going to take away a positive 6. We know this is a positive because it's not written in any set of parentheses. And we don't have positive 6 to take away, so we need to put up 0 pairs. Because remember, when you put up a 0 pair, it's not changing the problem whatsoever. Because all we're doing here is saying 3 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0, which is still 3. But now we have our positive 6 we can take away, and we're left with 3, and these 3 happen to be negatives, so 3 minus 6 is a negative 3. All right, I want you to pause it and try the next 3 on your own. Again, if you can use counters if you want, or if you can just do this in your head, that's fine. And unpause it when you are done. So 8 minus a negative 3 is going to give you a positive 11. Negative 6 minus a negative 4 is negative 2. Negative 5 minus 8 is negative 13. Again, if you got any of those wrong, please make sure you ask. Now, I know you're not going to want to pull out all those counters when we have a test or something like that, so here's your rule for subtracting integers. So, to subtract an integer, you are going to add its opposite. So, an archaeologist descends 647 meters. His initial elevation is 251 meters above sea level. What is the elevation of the archaeologist? Okay, so keyword, initial. That's telling you where he's starting. So he's starting at initial elevation of 251 above. So it would be a positive 251. He descends 647. Okay, so up here with our rule, we're going to add the opposite. All right, so think back to earlier. Signs are different. Take the absolute value. 647 is bigger than 251, and it happens to be a negative, so we know our answer is going to be negative. And then 647 minus 251, go old school, 7 minus 1 is 6. Well, we have to borrow. 14 minus 5 is 9. 5 minus 2 is 3. So negative 396. We're trying to do this without a calculator just to make sure we do have some basic facts. All right, pause it and try the next 3 on your own. When you're done, unpause it and see how you did. 38 minus negative 8. We remember add the opposite, so it's really saying 38 plus 8, 46. Negative 21 minus 30, add the opposite. So negative 21 plus negative 30, negative 51. 1 minus 24, add the opposite, and negative 23. If you got any of those wrong, please make sure you raise your hand and ask for help.